ठीक था, आज ये क्या हो रहा है ये हमें भी नहीं पता।
वैसे यहाँ कभी पहले हुआ नहीं है ये सब जो हो रहा है।
क्या अजीब से यह लोग देख रहे हैं, पता नहीं क्या चीज़ आ गई यहाँ पे चारों तरफ।
I think this is one major milestone in that direction. That's why, particularly as Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, I wish to warmly appreciate, on behalf of 17 million citizens of Delhi, the opportunity provided by yourselves to put up a festival like this with the support of leading artists from around the public artists from around the world. I do hope this will be a great success.
An experiment set within the capital, 48 degrees Celsius Public Art Ecology, was the first large-scale public art festival in India. The festival introduced contemporary art into public spaces familiar to diverse people. It attempted to draw the public's attention, thereby enticing them into critically analyzing the state of their city. The name 48 degrees Celsius was a reference to Delhi's continuously escalating temperatures in the wake of global warming, as well as Delhi's feverish building activity and its steadily crumbling ecology. The festival was spread around 8 locations in both Old and New Delhi. All locations were within a 5-minute walk or a 10-minute rickshaw ride from the respective metro rail stations.
If you look at the spaces, it's a journey through Delhi. It's a journey through the history of Delhi and the contemporary of Delhi today. And I think because the spaces we choose then finally were so significant, the whole project worked.
With the help of the Urban Resource Group, several months were spent choosing the locations after much consideration about their historical, political and sociological context. The artists were then offered the selected spaces to choose from, and they made their final selection in accordance with their artistic expression.
It's a recurring theme, yes. Water is one recurring theme, and we work in all sorts of different media. We use photography, video, sculpture, installations.
Water seemed to be the favored subject of many artists who commented upon the escalating problem of diminishing fresh water.
It's visually just so impressive. So even if you don't know right away what it's about, it really strikes your eyes. And the sound of the water and the elephant on the screen and the books around it, it's beautiful.
Shiba Chachi's Water Diviner in the Delhi Public Library in Chandni Chowk, however, was a different perspective of water. Unearthing its historical and cultural connotations, her work was about the lost memory of water and the disconnect in the relationships with it today.
Then I found this extraordinary map, which I've placed in a kind of gutter which runs through the center of the installation, which is Shahjahanabad in the 1850s. This section that I use shows exactly the area where this installation is. So it's extraordinary to think that this road, the busy road opposite the old Delhi railway station, was once a waterway.
When I visited the Delhi the first time, I researched the Yamuna River. Yamuna River is, I know, Yamuna River is very serious with the problem. People say, river is a toilet. I was surprised. River is a water, not water. River is a toilet.
The river Yamuna, one of the two most sacred rivers of India, receives more than 3,000 million litres of sewage and industrial waste per day from the city of Delhi.
And I'm fighting to cooperate for resolution of water crisis in Delhi because I have another thinking of water because I'm a Japanese. This is a chance for collaborative partnership.
Agrasen ki Bawdi yahan hai tried to revive another kind of partnership, the age-old partnership between the Bawdi and the people. Designed by Asim Waqif, the installation also tried to evoke an appreciation of traditional practices in sustainable water conservation.
कभी किसी ने भी नहीं सोचा होगा कि मतलब इस तरीके से पानी की कमी आएगी कि जो मतलब ऐसा कि मतलब पानी की बोतल खरीद करके हमें पीनी पड़ेगी.
Vivan Sundaram spoke about this deep-rooted concern, the fact that today the symbol of water is reduced to a plastic water bottle. His work was a field of color, created by a grid of symmetrically arranged plastic bottles, and from it sprouted a curious-shaped plastic form, indicating environmental disaster. Various artists brought to notice the shortcomings of urban life today. Alive in Town by Swiss dance artists Darmotis created a radical metaphor of urban life in busy areas like Chandni Chowk and Roshnara Bagh. The group took their audience by surprise and tried to question the logic of alienated relationships human beings create with the urban environment.
The message is very simple. You know, we tend to think, I am here and there is nature. We look at nature, aha, it's out there, but it's really here.
Andres Ravik took a more classical environmental approach in his project, wherein he projected 3 independent experiential films inviting the audience to immerse themselves in nature's ingenuity.
Even 100 billion people.
Many other films based on ecological themes were screened during the festival, not just as part of the installations, but also independently.
It's one of the biggest males in the forest of central India.
Art has a way of changing perceptions, because people walk away with an image which remains. Within that, you can begin. It is the beginning of a conversation. I'm not saying that it's the end, and artists are not necessarily activists. Not all artists are. Artists may not even be able to solve the problems of the world, probably can't. But they can allow people to intervene and to think about things in ways that activism doesn't necessarily work.
You know, it's not so important in terms of the art world about people going out from and seeing this who are interested in following art activities. What is especially important is what this community gets out of it, or the community adjacent to any of the projects, what they can take away from it. So I would like to think that this is the beginning of a seeding program.
At the neglected archaeological site of Roshnara Park, once a home away from home for the Mughals, Mary Misk created Roshanara's net. Inspired by Mughal textile patterns, the installation attempted to reconnect the surrounding community to this fascinating space, inviting them into the park by opening up a whole world of medicinal plants to them. Urban eco-tours were another public participatory activity brought forward by Delhi Greens in order to draw people into nature. The tours journeyed through the city's water bodies, landfill sites, biodiversity parks, the Yamuna River and the Delhi Ridge. A bird walk through the almost mystical Kamla Nehru Ridge was another such event. It was organized by the Northern Indian Bird Network. The walk created awareness about Delhi's status as a birder's paradise. Delhi is a bird-diverse city with almost 400 bird species. But today, many species have become extinct. The most alarming amongst them is the extinction of vultures. Ravi Agrawal installed his work Extinct at Mandi House and the Natural History Museum, where the last 3 remaining stuffed vultures of the city reside, in an attempt to confront the notion of extinction.
Vulture is a fascinating story because it's the fastest recorded extinction in human history. In 20 years, it's almost gone. It's a docile animal, does not attack, it only feeds on the dead. There's been no reason why it should be extinct.
Some artworks focused on another kind of extinction, the extinction of trees. One of the greenest roads in Delhi once upon a time, Barakhamba Road, has lost all its trees to the metro system construction.
ये तो नमूना दिखा रहे हैं जनता को कि इस तरह से उखाड़ के फेंक रहे हैं। पहले दिल्ली में इतने सारे पेड़ थे और इस पेड़ अभी टंगा हुआ नजर आ रहा है। इससे हमें अजीब सा लग रहा है।
Artist Krishna Raj Chonath installed his crane plus tree here, making a bold statement symbolic of all the 100,000 trees Delhi has lost to development in the last 10 years.
ये दर्शाता है कि जिस तरीके से पेड़ निर्जीव है उसी तरीके से हमारे जीवन में भी वही चीज़ आ सकता है जो पेड़ के साथ हुआ।
यही वो लोग हैं जो इस रास्ते का सबसे ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल करते हैं। हम इन्हें यूज़र कहते हैं।
This work, I would say, has evolved from documented dialogical process of my interaction with the people, their participation, our shared experiences and shared visions.
Navjot Altaf installed her Barakhamba in 2008, below Crane Plus Tree, and juxtaposed videos looking at contradictory views of development.
जिस तरह से हमारी काफ़ी पेड़ पौधों की प्रजातियां, जीव जंतुओं की प्रजातियां नष्ट हो चुकी हैं, कहीं ऐसा न हो आने वाली पीढ़ी के लिए पेड़ पौधे भी नष्ट सारे हो चुके हों और उनको कुछ न मिले। जैसे आज हम लोग मन्नत मांगते हैं पेड़ पौधों पे जा कर के, और एक समय ऐसा आ सकता है कि पेड़ पौधे ही ना हों, तो आप मन्नत कहाँ मांगेंगे? तो जाहिर सी बात है आप मशीनों के पास ही जाएंगे।
Trees also inspired Krizan's Tathakos in her work Wish Machine, which she installed at Kashmiri Gate and inside Palika Bazaar. Deeply influenced by the concept of wishing through trees, Krizan's work wished for humans to be in communion with trees, with nature. Amar Kanwar enlarged the theme of trees into his sovereign forest. He installed it 46,910 inches northwest of the Indian Parliament, near the Jantar Mantar, in the centre of the public protest space designated by the Delhi police, where diverse groups from the country come to make themselves heard.
न्याय मांगने के लिए ये लोग लगा रखा है, समस्या उसका कहीं हल नहीं हो रहा, इसलिए लगा रखा है।
I think it really makes a difference because when you're like promoting it in public place, you really like bringing it on to the public. You can promote this in books, but doing it in public makes a different issue out of it.
The installation signified a protest against the mainstream development process of relocating tribal people into a world without their ownership on water, land and forest. Also talking about the politics of land and its use were artists Shaina Anand and Ashok Sukumaran. They created a tour of cycle rickshaws with the rickshaw drivers as narrators. They took the participants through the changed landscapes of the once vibrant industrial district around Roshanara Road, which have now fallen silent. Another politically charged installation was by Learning Site. They created poster dwellings at Palika Bazaar. The site also hosted workshops by organizations like Navdanya to educate school students about green subjects.
A seed from
A play at Jantar Mantar presented by the German